It looks like we've got ourselves 3 new skills and a new armor set that will be due to arrive either before the Wrath of the Druids DLC or available at launch. Big thanks to Pedder for reaching out to me on our Discord channel. This video wouldn't be possible without you, so big thanks from us and everyone in the community for sending all of this cool footage across. Cheers, dude. Before we tuck in, folks, goes without saying, pinch of salt here. You know how these things go in these kind of games. It's all subject to change, so just bear that in mind with all this stuff. In any case, this armor set looks like it's going to be called the Mystical Armor Set, which is very creative, as I'm sure you'll all agree. It also looks like it's going to be a pack, which makes me think it's going to be a Helix Store edition, as it includes tattoos, settlement cosmetics, new mounts, and a raven skin. And as you may have already guessed, it does look like the Einherjar set, and that's because it is. Saying that though, it looks pretty cool. And when I first saw this, I thought, oh my god, we're actually going to get some Viking armor. This is awesome. And to be honest, the helm is very druidic, so I reckon we're going to be picking this up for sure post the DLC launch. And to be honest, if this is the kind of design that we continue to get going forward into the DLC, then I'm going to be happy. Only on the basis that it's not in the Helix Store. Stat-wise, we've got an emit a poison cloud after 10 consecutive hits, but it has to be on a poisoned enemy with a full set bonus of increased poison build and damage. So if you're quite a fan of running with a poison build, this is going to be looking mighty fine for you. We also pick up a new dagger, not a one-handed sword unfortunately, but this one's called a Yord's Blade, which you guessed it, also increases the poison damage when the weapon is on a poison proc. And we've also got ourselves a shield called the Natural Aegis, which buffs poison build up on a block. But to be honest, I'd be quite tempted to switch the shield out for a Satunda's Dagger for a high crit poison build, which I think would be delicious. Now mount wise, we've got ourselves another reindeer skin, which is very mystical, and a lovely parrot, which I actually quite like, to be fair. All in all, this looks nicer than the Taranis set in my opinion, but still, expect this in the store, folks. It just reeks of Helix Store, to be honest, even though it does look pretty good. But saying that, big thanks to Pedder for sharing this with the community, and let's move on to some skills. So this first particular skill looks like we're able to actually fire flaming arrows from Horseback. Now, as I'm sure you're already aware, you can actually fire arrows from your horse anyway, so that's not new. You can even light your arrows while you're on the horse, but the flaming arrow won't actually refresh after you fire it, which seems to be the case here. The only thing that I can think of where this would be beneficial is when we'd be on the move, raiding quite quickly and setting everything ablaze in quite quick succession. It's pretty cool, but whether we'd actually use this regularly, I'm not so sure. We're just going to have to wait and see what Ireland has in store for us anyway. Now, skill 2, and this particular video preview seems somewhat underwhelming when you actually watch it first time round. It shows Eivor barging past enemies without tripping, falling down, or losing too much of his footing while he's on a full tilt sprint. So I did this in game to show you what we currently have right now in terms of animation, and as you can see, there's a bit of a difference here. Nothing really happens when you do charge into NPCs. So I think this is going to be pretty useful in a crowded social setting, and of course I'm thinking Dublin in Ireland here. Even though this skill doesn't look like much, in a densely populated area, I could actually see this being pretty useful as we pursue targets or are looking for a quick assassin getaway. So getting a few nostalgia hits here, and maybe we might even get to play as an assassin in this game. Who knows? Now moving into our third, and this one is Eivor snapping to block incoming range attacks. So I also tried this one in game right now with the shield, just to confirm and test out that is this something that we can do right now, because I don't really run with the shield. But if you turn away and there's an arrow flying at you, you can't snap around to prevent it. However, if your camera is facing the target and you're facing away, you can press the block button to snap around. So this skill seems to allow you to immediately snap to missile danger when you're not facing it. So I can imagine this one being particularly useful for those of you who enjoy running with a shield, but for me in particular, I quite like hitting the block button just as the missile or arrow is about to hit me, because then I can send it right back. I absolutely love that animation. I'd never get tired of it in comparison to the other kill animations we do have, which I genuinely wish we could turn off, but there we are. Conversation for another time. Either way, this shield block looks pretty cool, but I would love to get a shield wall animation with Yoms Vikings though, right? I wouldn't even play the game, I'd just walk around everywhere in a shield wall. We can hope. Now, when it comes to legitimacy, are these skills actually going to be included in the game? Well, Pedder has said that these will definitely be coming to the game, as these are located in a folder where previous skills that have been leaked used to be located. Now, some of you may remember that Skyward Soul posted a skill leaks on a Reddit post in December about the longship ramming ability, shield blocking arrows from your longship, and getting an adrenaline slot before you start a fight. These are now all in game, and we're actually located in the same folders that these skills are currently placed in. So I'm willing to throw down a little bit of cash here that I do think that these are going to be coming to the game in Season 2. Also got a bit of a little bonus here. Pedder also found a weapon called the Jaw Dagger, which some of you may recognise from the Daughter of Leary on side quest. Now, I know this isn't anything new or fresh on this one, but it is in the game files at the moment, and it got me thinking that we could actually be picking up similar items like this going forward into Wrath of the Druids, as these are the type of weapons weapons used by these druidic cultists, so it would make sense to actually be able to wield some of those class weapons if we're spending all of our time hunting them down in Ireland. Now, you'll have to excuse my pronunciation, I do apologise. As you all know, I'm quite the linguist, but Pierre Ravenou, who is a senior concept artist at Ubisoft, has also posted a variety of druid jaw daggers, try say that quickly, like this one in the game file, so I wouldn't be at all surprised if we do pick up an assortment of these type of weapons in the new expansion, and I wouldn't be shocked if we actually do find more of these being discovered or mined in the game files running up to launch. Speaking of which, you folks may also be aware that we've also had a few other leaks recently. Now, this leak is from the French YouTuber Jonathan, who says that one of the achievements in the DLC is going to be to defeat 100 enemies with sickles. So this sickle type of weapon does seem to fall in line with this type of thinking, and there's even a druid holding a sickle weapon in the post-launch art, so I genuinely expect more sickle item designs like this going forward. We've also got the Taranis set, which I've spoken about in a previous video, but Peda of course has access to this and has found all of these items we've just talked about in the same location where the Taranis set is located. I reckon this is going to be coming as in Helix back pre-Wrath sooner than all of the other stuff that we've just talked about right now. In any case, if you've got any value out of the video, hitting a like down below helps me out a ton, and it only takes a second, so cheers. But more importantly, what do you folks think of all this? I'm really keen to hear your thoughts. I really enjoy reading all of your comments and having great conversations down below, and thanks again to Peda for sharing all of this amazing information and visuals. Much appreciated, and as usual, coffee's on me.